Recording now?
Yeah, it's on. So this is a service call for a GE 2012. Owner is reporting that after he gets it lit, it's exploding. Ah, it's still dumping. See that?
No.
It's still dumping gas. Really? Well, that's because the. Yeah, I think your valve is broken. I can't turn it off. See that? It won't go into the off position.
No?
No, like it's not only is it broken on, but there's no pilot light. Yeah, so I pulled the pilot tube. Watch this.
Mm-hmm.
It's just dumping gas. It shouldn't do that. Well, it should stop. Let's wait. We'll wait a minute. We'll see if it stops. So it takes the voltage from the thermocouple, which has the pilot light. Yeah. It takes that heat, converts it to like 30 millivolts or less, a little bit less, and sends it to the valve that holds the solenoid down. There's a solenoid right here. It's like a magnet, and it just picks up a little bit of electrical charge and holds this down permanently. And so, yeah, so that allows the gas to flow through the pilot tube, but then it also lets you turn it on,
okay.
Right? So it's proof to the valve. You got a bad valve, basically. So this shouldn't be on. This should not happen. It's kind of broken. It's like broken in the on position. Hang on. Yeah, it's busted. Not only that, but I can't physically turn it off. And I don't think I can. Oh, there you go. So now it's off. Okay. Okay, that seemed to free it. All right, we'll go forward. But I've seen them do stuff like that where they're broken, open, wide open, just gushing gas in there, no flame, no nothing. Super dangerous. They're very rare. Usually when they break where they don't work, right? And you can't get them to work. You can't get anything to work, so it'll just never come on. So it's rare that it'll break the other direction, but it does happen. That's why you have the temperature pressure relief valve, because just in case that happens. For the overheating. Yeah, it would overheat. No one's using the hot water, and then it just builds pressure and pressure, and nothing can shut it off, right? So it's unable to turn itself off, even if it's way beyond pressure. So at like 200 degrees, I think it's 200 degrees or 150 psi, it opens that up and relieves the pressure. I lived in this basement apartment when I was younger. You know, super cheaperette, right? It was basically a basement for this apartment complex, and there's two like 100-gallon water heaters right outside my front door, and that happened, and it flooded my apartment with hot water, like this much hot water. So I wake up in the middle of the night, and there's steam all over my apartment, right? And so I jump up out of my feet, and then my feet are burning, right? So like with your brain, right? Because you're half asleep, and I'm like, I had no idea what was going on. And I ran outside, and then saw all the hot water out there and figured it out. But yeah, it's crazy. All right, so yeah, looking good. So you may have
leak.
Yeah, so it's been leaking,
it was
right?
leaking through there, yeah.
It was
a waiting, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's been draining in here. So I'm going to drill some holes down here and get the water out of the combustion chamber. Because what happens is this insulation fills up with water and it chokes it out. So it brings the air in through the sides. The air comes in through the sides and then up through the bottom for the flame. So it's like this, the air flows like this. And when the insulation gets full of water, it swells up, and it's like a filter, and it just clogs it out, and it'll choke it out. But your valve really shouldn't have been doing that, but it seems like it's okay now. I'm not 100% sure what was going on with it, but we'll look at that in a minute. So when you get a lot of water in the combustion chamber,
How about the burner? It looks okay? The pilot
it looks
and all
fine. Yeah, I mean, it looks okay. I think you had an excess buildup of gas going on inside there, and then it was finally hitting the pilot light. But we'll check that in a minute. But the first thing you got to do is get that water out of there, and then it just dries out. It'll just dry out. I see this a lot after it rains. So after rainstorms, people call me all the time and they're like, "Oh, my water heater's leaking," and I'm like, "All right." And then I go look at it, and this won't hurt anything. It just she's on it. Yeah, see all that water?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta get the water out. Oh, the water's coming my way. You gotta get me out of here. Oops. So yeah, you get the water out, and then and then in the future, if it leaks, it'll just drain through there. They really should put some drain plugs or something that I'm doing. I don't know. I'm not a water heater designer. But if I ever made a water heater, I'll tell you what,
drain holes.
You would have all kinds of extra taps for all kinds of different things. Yeah, in a pinch. So if you're in a pinch, you can always just pull these screws out. They're screws that hold the bottom of the case on, and it'll drain out through there. But I always find that they get clogged. You know, debris starts flowing towards it and clogs it up. So I always just put a bigger one in there. So, you know, bigger is better, right? Sometimes you got to do a couple of them. You do like one on every corner, especially if it's not level. But that's a good first start. Right there, it's full of water. You can see there's just all kinds of water in there.
Creo que no le entraba aire.
Por la misma agua, ¿no?
Alright, well, we'll see if we can start it. So we just, by doing that, we just let a lot of air in, right? So we pull this, it's sealed. It's called a sealed combustion chamber. And so by pulling the burner out, we let air in. It also, air obviously can go back in because it's open, but that should hopefully kind of change things enough to get it, just to get it to light. Sometimes just moving stuff around and putting it back together again kind of fixes whatever little problem you had. You'd be surprised. I've worked on water heaters that, you know, you measure everything on them, you measure all the voltage, you check all the parts. If everything checks out, it still won't work, you just change one part, everything works out there. It's kind of goofy. It can be kind of finicky. But if it doesn't, so if it doesn't work, right, and it's still doing the same thing, then I suggest we replace the valve. Just put a different valve on.
How about if the tank is leaking?
Oh, the tank is leaking? Oh yeah.
We're not sure.
Then you just replace it. Yeah, or you could just put a different one in.
Yeah, we have one there.
Yeah, if you just want to do that. That's kind of, you know, you can't go wrong with that, all right? Replace it. I didn't really, when I was inside, I didn't really see a lot of water in, like on the burner assembly.
Burner, yeah.
It was dry. So if it is leaking, it's leaking like somewhere, maybe out here, and then it's running down. I mean, you changed the drain valve. It was plastic?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like first suspect. But you can't go wrong with doing that. You just change the drain valve and then check it in a week, but now it's just going to keep draining. If it is leaking, at least it can run. Right? So I've gone and done service calls for people where they had to wait a few days to either order a new one or buy one from me. And first thing we do is drill these holes and drain it out so it'll run. And then they don't care because it's outside, you know. It just leaks a little bit of water for 2 or 3 days. But at least people have hot water, and that's, you know, that's like the critical thing, right? Because if it keeps shutting down from having too much water, and then you at least solve that problem so that it keeps going. So I've done that a few times where I've just, you know, basically drilled holes in it and drained it out. And kept it going long enough to get a replacement. Looks for being comfortable. Huh?
It's on?
Yeah, it's on. It's like a nice size pilot flood.
Oh, will be good then.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm gonna probably light it and take a few steps away. You said it blew up, right? Yeah, I know one of these days this thing's gonna blow up in my like big time, right?
The old days.
Boom. Oh no, that's on. There you go. Yeah, I think that's what it was. I think it was all that water.
Mm-hmm.
I think all that water in the
No air. No air inside.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Keep showing the wall.
No, most of the times that was.
It's okay.
You
Don't
have a
worry
good
about
video.
it. Don't worry about it. So, can I see that? All right. So we took this water heater apart. It was kind of doing this little explosion thing for the owner, and the valve was acting funny. I wasn't able to shut it off, and even though it didn't have a lit thermocouple, it was still pumping out gas. So I'm still a little suspect of what's going on with the valve, but I was able to get it shut off, so it seems to be behaving okay. And kind of took it all apart. There was a lot of water in the combustion chamber, so drilled some more holes and got the water out of there. And the owner is going to monitor it and see if it has an inner tank leak, but he changed the drain valve, so that's what he thinks is hoping it is. And we got it lit, and it came up, no explosions. And it should still be going. Yeah. Yeah, I just keep my eye on it.